because that's
what you requested.
No. But all I was saying is I saw one. I didn't start saying, "Excuse me, can you just give us a smile? I'm taking your picture." Do you know
we've had loads of pictures of people.
I know, and it worries me a little bit. And I mean, it's not too bad about the one who took one of a little midget one, because if he kicked off, it'd be quite easy to sort of hold him back. But I'm talking about fully grown.
So is that your warning to people? Don't be taking pictures of fully grown Chinese homeless.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, don't be messing about going up to strangers and that and annoying them and stuff, right? Maybe.
Well, I think that's a good rule of thumb. Don't annoy them. But that is a hell of a sighting, isn't it? We asked for a Chinese homeless, and they gave us a Chinese midget homeless.
Many of the listeners are aware, Carl, that you're sort of fascinated by smaller people.
Well, he's fascinated by difference, I think.
Yes.
I don't think he's having a go at people. You're not having
a go.
when you sort of stare at someone because they don't look like you, and let's face it, most people don't look like you. You're not having a go, are you?
Well, like I say, the first time I saw Steve, I was never having a go. It was just, oh, that's different. But Steve, I was never having a go. It's just that thing of.
What do you mean?
No, just I've said before about when I saw Steve and what have you. Now I've got used to it, and
Steve
it's the
got
same.
used to it. What do you
don't know. Well, you know my feeling with this. I don't really know where he's coming from.
But Steve knows I'm not having a go either.
Yeah.
Carl used to carry around a book that was called the Top 50 Freaks of All Time.
Well, it's interesting you should mention that, because we actually had an email from Richie who says that he's been a fan of ours for many years and he's listened to lots of the radio shows we've done in the past and things. And he says, of all the people you've discussed, Carl, in the past, including some of the people from your odd magazines, who would you most like to spend the day with, of all those people that you've encountered?
Favourite of all?
Well, certainly who you would want to spend time with, who you feel would be the most fascinating, the most interesting. Let's just recap on some of the...
Pillow Man, the bloke with no arms, no legs that can roll a cigarette with his mouth.
Yeah.
No? Not impressed with him?
That's not sufficient.
What about the three-legged juggler?
So hang on, let's just recap for new listeners. This was a man with 3 legs?
3 legs, right. And it said his job, he became a juggler.
Okay.
The gift that he'd been given.
What you suggest?
Anything. Running, swimmer. Just...
Yeah.
But yeah, what are the others? What are the other ones?
There was a picture of a gentleman who was fascinated by him. He used to play the piano.
Oh, he's got a tiny head, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's that. That's the one who he sort of ages fast.
Right.
So like every other week he's having a birthday and stuff. And yeah, that was weird.
He's not having a birthday every other week. His body's just aged, so it has the appearance. His biology is sort of like he's 70, but he's only like 15. They don't have a birthday every week. You idiot.
But yeah, I don't know about knocking about with one a long time though. That's
only for a day.
Yeah. Suppose it depends what I'm up to. Because if we're going out and about, the Pillow Man would just be a bit of a drag. Whereas
a walk across, the 3-legged guy, ideal.
So yeah.
Oh.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Lots and lots of people emailing just with questions for Carl. People just want to get his opinion on stuff. So if you have questions for Carl, keep them coming in. podcast@rickygervais.com. We can't really reply to your emails, but we do read them, so we really appreciate them coming in. Just a couple of quick ones for you, Carl. Wendy says, if Carl had to eat the same dinner every day for the rest of his life, what would he eat? She mentioned this because she was having Christmas dinner and it was a big, she loves Christmas dinner.
It's the trouble with Christmas dinner. I mean, the roast dinner is the king of dinners and the Christmas dinner is the king of roast dinners.
Yes.
But you can't have one every day.
No, it's absurd.
But it's brilliant.
We have 3 meats in our house.
It's unbelievable. The amount of meats is just amazing. It's just a plate of meat.
It's just meat.
With one Brussels sprout, one token Brussels sprout and the gravy. Oh.
You see, it depends, doesn't it? So I keep going. I'm not that bothered about because I don't really taste it anyway. I just shove it down.
You're like like a horse.
But at what point did it become important that things were sort of seasoned or garnished to go with it and stuff? At the end of the day, we're all eating, aren't we? So you can move about and that, and you've got energy.
Well, we need to know what we're tasting, don't we? Because we need to have certain things. We need sugar. We need salt. So we need to know what they taste like to know we're getting them.
No, but
your body
now we've
craves
got
them.
chefs, so leave that up to them to make sure we're getting
I thought you were
salt.
talking about an evolutionary standpoint and how it evolved. Not there was a little
Do you
chef.
think that's likely?
No, but leave it for them to make sure we're getting safe food. I I mean, to be honest, it annoys me the way people worry about food now and how there's so much to choose from. I think it's got out of hand. I'll watch...
Any form of choice really worries you, doesn't it?
No,
you don't like choice.
No, choice is good, but not too much. It's like with anything now, if you go into a toffee...
Sorry? Where are you going to find a toffee shop?
So you're in a fairy tale.
Yeah. You're in a Dickens tale in the 19th century.
You're in Shrek. And
You go into a toffee shop.
What's your point? You go into a toffee shop.
What I'm saying, you go into a shop full of toffees.
You've just come from the Candlestick Maker.
Right? You go in there and there's just too much choice. It's like, what? And I can stand there up to like 4 minutes, sort of going...
Up to 4 minutes.
So specific.
4 minutes.
So he's in a toffee shop in a top hat.
Well, he's only got 4 minutes. He's only got 4 minutes because he's got to get down to the pea green boat that he's sailing off in.
No,
good morrow.
Well, forget the toffees.
Could I have some of your finest Oxfordshire toffees?
So you'd prefer it was just one selection of toffee, that's all they've got?
Well, maybe two. What I'm saying is, right, there's now too much choice. Whenever you get a menu in a restaurant, it's not like you don't just go, oh, right, what is there? Yeah, I'll have that. There's too much. It's like a book now, isn't it? And you look at it all. And then you've got to that point now that people are even taking a risk when they're, in Japan or China or something, they're eating that fish that if it's not cooked right, it can kill you, right? Yeah. Not worth the risk when there's so many other fish.
Yeah, I agree. Why
have mackerel, have a bit of cod or whatever.
Yeah,
as soon as there's a risk, take it off. Take it off
I
the
agree.
Menu.
I totally agree.
Not worth
it. We've got a fish that might or might not kill you. Well, is there anything that definitely won't kill you? Yeah, but a chicken won't kill you.
I'll play safe then. I'll have that.
I love that. I love the chicken.
That's what I'm saying.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
But anyway, we were talking about sayings and that. Right? Stitching time saves 9. Don't. I'm never going to use that. I don't think anyway.
Okay.
Suzanne.
You're never going to understand it fully, are you?
Suzanne repairs me stuff anyway. It doesn't really matter. But what about the one? About the one in greenhouses and that.
People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Yeah.
What?
Does that confuse you? You've never understood that one?
No, that's a lot clearer, isn't it? It's sort of saying if you're surrounded by glass and what have you.
Yeah, but don't forget, it's an analogy, it's a metaphor, it's not to be taken literally. It's not really just talking to people who live in glass houses. It's saying... Hang
on, sorry, before you say that, Rick, I'm intrigued to know if he's fully got to grips with this. Okay. Just give us your explanation again of what you'd take that to mean.
Well, just don't be chucking stuff about, maybe.
So, well, if that was it, they just say that.
No, but that saying's been around a lot longer than we think. That's when people probably did live in basic glass houses and stuff.
No, whoa,
what they mean now.
Who has ever lived in a glass house?
So cavemen went from rock to a nice crystal structure, did they? What are you talking about? When did people live in glass houses?
What they mean now, when that saying's used now, they mean sort of, plasma tellies, ornaments.
No, they don't.
They're saying don't chuck stuff about because you'll
break
it.
No, it's not about damaging your own property.
They don't mean you're inside the glass house throwing rocks inside your own glass house.
It's a metaphor. People, if you yourself have got more to lose, do you know what I mean? It means it could be anything. Don't start a war where you could come off bad as well. It's about how fragile your situation is. If you live in a glass house, metaphorically, don't throw stones at someone else, because when he throws it back at you, your house is more easily damaged than his. Again, metaphorically.
It doesn't mean that if you're living in a glass house or in a house with other precious objects, you don't, in your own home, throw bricks about. Because that would be a very specific audience that I was trying to reach, that phrase. I mean, let's be honest, what kind of a mental case?
Do you know what? I think we've got the crux to this, right? I think I can answer. Right. Carl, what is an analogy?
It's sort of like a little story told quickly. Isn't it?
It's a little story told quickly. To what end?
Well, it depends what the story is.
Give me an analogy.
Well, for me, I thought of one with the greenhouse. Yeah. Right?
It's a greenhouse. Before it was just a glass house.
Yeah.
All right, then a glass house.
Okay.
Right. What I mean is that glass house is metaphorical. It's about the fragility of your situation as compared to your aggression or your...
You see, I just prefer sort of, what you say is what you mean. So people who live in a glass house have to answer the door.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I mean,
Because
you may be a genius, because I don't get that. People who live in glass houses have to answer the door.
Okay, let's hear his explanation.
Because the people knocking at the door will be able to see you because it's a glass house.
But what?
But you literally mean it, don't you? There's no analogy there or metaphor for you. You literally mean if you live in a glass house and
go
someone
onto the
knocks the door. So there's no hidden meaning there, is there?
Well, normally...
Couldn't that also... you have to add a number of other things, other caveats. Surely, around naked.
Yeah.
If you live in a...
These are literal. See, if you could actually make that into quite a nice saying there, because if that meant, if someone said that to me and they weren't a shaved chimp, right? If they said people who live in glass houses have to answer the door, I think that means, oh yeah, it means that there are no secrets. You can't hide behind anything. If you're very open, if you've chosen to be totally open all the time, you can't go back on it. So people, if you wear everything on your sleeve, if you shout around and you tell the truth, and you can't go back on it. They can see through you.
It can mean that as well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's handy. But just the idea that in your head there should be sayings for people who live in glass houses. Who is it that's living in a glass house?
Well, I'm not talking about them. It's just that if everyone else is bringing up about these people who are living in glass houses, let's get to the real problems they've got.
He still hasn't got to grips with the idea of the metaphor or the simile.
People who live in glass houses should live near a glazier.
Right. That I learnt recently from a mate. Right. Oh, there's an elephant in the room.
Okay, I haven't heard that one, but explain it to me.
It's like when something's going on in a room, right? But no one's mentioning it because everyone's a bit too sort of. But in a way, it's better that it's out. It's like how whenever we go out for something to eat or a drink or something, it's normally after about 5 minutes the sort of topic gets onto the shape of my head.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I can't resist the shape of your head.
Right, so you're happy
It's
talking
not just
about
the
it.
shape, though, is it? It's the state of it as
No,
well.
but what
outside and in.
But-
I mean, it's a fascinating little objet d'art. His head.
But what I'm
it's
saying,
perfectly round. It's got no hair where it should have, and it's hollow.
The features are slightly too small for the face.
Yeah,
No.
unbelievable.
no, but what I'm saying is, it's interesting how, like, I'm the elephant in the room, right? Nobody's talking about it. You mention it once, suddenly it's the talk of the town. What I mean, everybody starts joining in, going, well, yeah, it is round, but it does suit you. And these are people who I don't even know sometimes, and they're all dipping in. And that is an elephant in the room.
So you don't want people to discuss the shape of your head or the lack of hair. You would feel better. You would feel happier that they didn't mention that.
Sometimes I think it's better that it's out there. It's made me a stronger person, though. It's the same way, we were talking about religion and that. Samson Delilah,
yeah.
he got weaker without hair. Whereas with me, I think it's made me stronger. Because, it's almost like it's treated like a disability. Everybody's sort of mentioning it and talking about it. What's it like having a bald head? And, you know what I mean? So it's made me stronger.
But would you ever wear a wig?
Not really.
What was a long wig like Samson?
Well, the only time I wanted a wig was when I did jury duty once, wasn't it? And it was annoying that I was sat on the jury right in front of, like, these criminals, right? Everybody else has got disguises. The judges have them wigs on, right?
That's not this.
Guys, that's why judges wear them, right? So
No! Well, then what if they print their name in the paper and have a picture? What do you mean it's a disguise?
it's a disguise, isn't it?
No, if it was a disguise, they'd go in with one of those glasses with a nose and the beard attached. If it was a disguise, all judges would look like Groucho Marx if it was a disguise.
Well, I'm just saying that's what annoyed me when I was sat there on the front row, right? I couldn't have been any closer to the criminals, right? I was sat there and I thought, why didn't I just pop a little wig on or a pair of glasses?
I would have loved to have seen you in the front row at Crown Court.
No,
I'd
because
love to see it because in this country you're not allowed to show pictures of jurors. You can't take photos in a courtroom, so there's always these sketch artists that draw drawings, and it's on the news. The idea that we'd have seen 11 people and a sort of Krusty the Clown figure would have been amazing.
Yeah, I would love to see the artist do an interview, because it would be like complicated people. Oh, hey, he looks into characterful, and then just a little round head.
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown sitting on the end.
Carl, you said that your New Year's resolution was that you were going to learn something every day.
yeah,
Have you learned anything today?
if I can. Today, like, I don't know the full facts of it, but...
Could I just say that when someone says they learn something new every day, that doesn't count if they forget it the next day?
No,
because that would be Groundhog Day learning.
Well, the thing I learnt today was about an octopus.
Oh,
Go on.
What they can do is, they've got 8 legs and that.
Yeah.
They can use 6 of them legs to cover their head, so they look like a little stone, and use the other 2 to run off. Right? But that's
he's thinking of Squiddly Diddly.
Yeah, it's a Disney image in his head, isn't it?
He's thinking
They're
of
pink.
But anyway, that's
So
that's
it's
not the
Pink
main
singing
thing.
a song in your mind and running off. Yeah.
No, but anyway, but something else I learnt, right? It's mainly about animals and that, because that's normally quite interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Specific.
the owner of it was getting fed up because, he had to feed it and that, but it wasn't.
Embellishment. Guesswork.
No, come on, let's hear it.
It wasn't giving anything back.
No eggs.
No eggs, right? So he was like, "Oh, I'm sick of this." Anyway, someone told him, pop a little axe next to its little house, right? So when it comes out in the morning thinking, "Oh, I'll have another lazy day doing nothing," right? He saw this axe, and suddenly it was like, "Oh, right."
I'm for the
Next day,
chocolate thought, yeah.
it laid about 6 eggs.
It's rubbish.
Through
Squeezed them
worry.
out
It's
super
rubbish.
quick.
The chicken wouldn't recognise an axe as a threat. It wouldn't be able to reason that I better start working or I'll be meat. I better start. It's absolute rubbish. Once again, it's this ridiculous thing you got that one personifying animals to reasoning powers better than yours. I mean, I think you make chickens and monkeys cleverer than you in your stories, which is weird. Okay, it didn't happen and wouldn't work. Next, what else haven't you learnt today?
No, well, as always, things like that always get me thinking.
What?
His mind's working now. This
Go
apparently
on.
has got his
Yeah,
mind
so that's
working.
rubbish.
Well, do you think then that it's worth looking after animals then if there isn't any memory? If they don't know what's happening anyway, you're always going on about don't be cruel to things.
Yeah, why would you be cruel? There's one thing about imagining chickens can reason, and because they can't, being cruel to them. Why does it matter whether an animal can reason or not for you not to be cruel to it? The reason I don't like blood sports isn't the fact that there's a fox missing. It's the psychology of the people that get off on seeing an animal ripped to pieces. They wouldn't like it if it was a robot. They wouldn't care. For some reason, in their psychology, they like this sport. Why does it have to be a sport? They're not culling. They're not putting things down for a good. They like to see this fox ripped apart or a bull tortured for their own pleasure. That's why you shouldn't do it. Why would you ever want to be cruel to an animal, whether it can reason or not?
No. I mean, I don't mean really cruel, but I mean like there's an advert on that's on in the in Britain, advertising some supermarket, right? And it's saying, kill our chickens and what have you. They have a great life. This is like the voiceover, and you see Happy Chicken.
Yeah.
And it's going, we give it a good little house to live in. It's got straw.
Yeah.
It eats good.
Yeah.
And then we kill it. Right?
Yes, but that's better, isn't it?
Well, no, I don't think it is, though, is it? Because at the end of the day, if I was that chicken, right, I'm that chicken, loving my life. I can't believe me luck, right?
Well, we'd be pleased because at least he'd be able to do the show and we'd have some interesting conversations.
Yeah.
So there it is, right, wandering about. It's got its nice little field that it's working on.
Yeah.
It's got its nice food and everything. But it's going to die.
Yeah, we're all going to die.
But then, if you were like a rubbish chicken that had like a rubbish life, you'd be going, "Oh, kill me."
Carl, they're not thinking what's going to happen tomorrow.
They don't know that they're going to get for the chop, are they?
A chicken's not going, I'm fed up with this. I can't wait for that axe to be used on my neck.
Yeah. Well, that's another. Now you've mentioned the cutting off of an head, right?
Yeah.
On the chicken. That's something.
Pinball is mine.
Amazing.
Isn't it? Ding dong bong dang ding ding dong. Oh, head ding ding chicken head off. Bing dong.
No, right. But this was in a proper science magazine as well. Right?
Yeah.
So you can't have a go. This wasn't something on the internet. This was printed in a
So?
magazine.
You read it.
Okay, and what was it?
And here comes the filter. It's going to come out nonsense.
Right, well-
you could have Professor Stephen Hawking sitting there whispering stuff in your ear, and it could all be true. But when you said it, gobbledygook.
Well, let's see then. Let's see, right? What they've done another experiment, right?
Yeah.
They've cut somebody's head off, right? And you know how they used to do it in the olden days, where they'd put your head in a stock, cut it off for whatever reason, right? You've done something wrong, right?
Yeah.
And the question that everybody used to talk about in the village was, I made eye contact with it, right? And it was a bit worrying because he was looking at me and he looked fed up and that.
No, he's dead.
So they've put a bit of work into this, and they've done it again somewhere, right? and they've worked out that once it stays alive and that for 30 seconds.
Well, no, they don't know that. They can never know that.
No, they did it. They did this experiment.
What's alive? What's alive? But there's loads of issues here. One, no one's experimenting with human beings cutting their head off, Carl.
Well,
two, no.
So you read this in what? Executioners Monthly?
This is in
no,
a
two,
proper...
Carl, it's what your definition of alive is. Because you can be alive and have no conscience.
No, but this is where it gets weird, right?
Yeah,
this is
where it gets weird. You talking about it.
So the head's off, right? Yeah. And what they did was they chucked a load of questions at it.
All sanctioned by the government.
Yeah, this is all fine.
So the head lands perfectly on the neck and goes, what do you want to know?
And it said,
so they're asking questions, and it's going, do you know what? To be quite honest, I don't answer your question. I'm a little bit annoyed about the execution still.
Well, that was the interesting thing. They said it's about...
No, it's not. It didn't happen, Carl.
Let me hear it.
Oh, don't talk
Let
shit.
me hear it.
What are you talking about? Who these people around in white coats going, quick, ask...
Right, so they said for about 25 to 30 seconds. The last 5 seconds, it is sort of like, can't be bothered answering them.
Right, but prior to that,
apart from that, they were chucking stuff. I don't think it spoke. I don't think it was like 2 and 2, 4 and stuff. It was more. It was to do with blinking.
So blink once if you say yes, blink twice.
So I told it. Said, listen, when you die, you're probably not going to be able to talk because your jaw's going to be on the ground. You're not going to be able to open your mouth. If you do, you'll fall over backwards and hit your head. Now listen, blink 1 for yes and 2 for no. Yeah, right. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, is the axe nice and sharp? Yeah,
promise?
You're talking shit again.
You promise to do it? Yes. All right.
Well, yeah. The thing is, they wouldn't be able to do it with you, because if they cut your head off, it would just roll. It would roll away, because it's perfectly spherical. They would go, oh no, there's
Plus,
no... Oh.
It takes about 20 seconds whenever you ask Carl anything for the question to process and for him to start to formulate an answer.
Anyway, if people listening and that, if they learn anything, that's amazing. Just send it in, because
it'll come out gobbledygook when Carl tries to translate it.
Interesting facts is what we're after then. Plus, Carl, if you just want to see how his mind works, then you can get in touch with us.
Or whether his mind works.
Indeed, we've
Any
proven
doctors,
that.
psychologists out there.
podcast@rickygervais.com. That's how to get in touch.
Carl, it's what we've all been waiting for. Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news.
Right, well, this one sent in from Sam in New York, right? And it's about a fire that happened, right, in a really... Do you know, like in New York, they have loads of big buildings, don't they?
Yeah.
Right, really, really tall ones and stuff.
Skyscrapers.
Yeah. And there was a fire in one of them, right? So they did as expected. They called up, fire brigade and that. They turned up, right? Fire engine parked up. It's like, right, where's the fire? And they said, oh, it's on, like, floor 100 or whatever. And they said, oh, no. We've brought the fire engine with the short ladders.
Stupid mistake, but go on.
Right. Fire's going and that, and they're saying, is there anyone in there? They go, I don't know, there might be someone up there, but the telecom's not working and stuff.
Who do you think might be up there, Rick?
I don't know. But
just a woman, I imagine. Just a woman or a child.
Is there a fireman that could climb up a building at all without a ladder?
That seems unlikely, but go on.
Go on.
So anyway, they said, well, how are we going to get up there?
Yeah. We can't.
But they've only brought the short ladders.
No, we can't. Let's go home.
Yeah.
Okay, that was monkey news.
So they said, well, there's a lot of, like, grippage.
Because they made up words, the firemen, the NYPD firemen.
There's a lot of grippage!
On the side of the building and stuff. So anyway, they said, why don't we just go and get a monkey, right? So they got a monkey.
Whoa, that's a bit of a jump.
Is that policy now in the New York Fire Department?
Well, you've got to think quick, haven't you? At the end of the day, if people are up there, you don't start querying if it works or not. You try everything that you can to help someone out, right?
That's the first thing I thought of. Was it a monkey?
So it was quicker for them to go and get a monkey than to go back and get the long ladders.
Why don't they get
fair enough.
Why don't they get Spider-Man?
Yeah, call Spider-Man.
Yeah, call Spider-Man.
So anyway, they got a monkey.
From?
We don't know, from the local zoo or something.
Oh, yeah.
So they said, look, let's, we've got to remember there could be someone up there,
right.
And it'll shock them a bit if a monkey comes in, right?
Yeah.
So they said...
Yeah, I don't think they'd care. If their building's on fire, they're not going to go, oh, it's weird, there's a monkey at the window. They'd be screaming, save me! Oh, it was a monkey.
So
where are you from, then?
So they said, right, we'll just get it a little small uniform and that, the smallest you've got.
But whoa, hold on though. Actually, where are you going to get that? I'm going back to the station. We'll get the long ladders while you're there.
No time.
No, I bought the small uniform. I just didn't bring the long ladders. You're an idiot.
So anyway, it goes up there. It's got all the kit on and what. It's got its little hard hat on and all that. It grabs. There was like a little person up there. Manages to grab that.
Not a midget.
Who was up there then?
It was just
someone that was just the right size for a monkey to be able to rescue, which is handy. Because if it had been anyone else, like a larger person or a family, we'd all been screwed.
No, I don't know about the size of it, but it's just the story saying how, like, monkey and that it was good at breaking down doors.
Oh, yeah.
It was good at climbing into small spaces and stuff like that. Anyway,
but it's big enough to carry a fully grown man, but small enough to climb through a cat flap.
Yeah,
sure.
So,
which is handy.
So anyway, it managed to, get
Did it have
the
the
person
boots on as well?
It got the person and everything, and now it says it's sort of it's on call if they ever need it again. So.
Sure, and if they ever get anywhere again and they've forgotten the long ladders, but there's plenty of grippage, they just call for Coco.
So that's this week's Monkey News.
Bollocks.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our podcast there. Another half hour of absolute drivel. I've been Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant.
See you next time.
And Carl Pilkington.
All right.
And we'd all like to thank those brilliant guys at Positive Internet for hosting this podcast brilliantly. Positive Internet hosting the world's #1 podcast. Here's DJ Reach Around.
It is hard.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying, like, I could eat a knob at night. 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 Eat a knob at night.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Welcome to the 7th Ricky Gervais Show on podcast. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Now, talking of that, that's only 5 to go then, isn't it? 5 to go in this series of 12.
Oh, still seems a lot though, doesn't it?
We'll take a little break. I'm sure we'll come back through popular demand, I'm hoping.
Yep.
I'm hoping to put that on the poster, backed by popular demand.
Well, I'm hoping it's by overwhelming public demand.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
my favourite.
Yeah. We want to get a little bit of a pat on the back, don't we?
Exactly, please. Do they give awards out for podcasting?
Oh, if they do, hoo-hoo, hello, I am already writing my speech, baby. I was thinking that everyone listening, if you want to register your email with us, we'll let you know when we're back on air, maybe later in the year. Go to rickygervais.com and just register, and then when I do a general mail out, I'll let you all know when Carl Pilkington is back.
You are a good guy to these people, Rick.
No sweat.
Now, there's been an awful lot of correspondence. It's backing up there. We've got acres of it to get through.
It is a bit mental, actually, but it's very flattering, and thank you all. And people have sent such brilliant things in and spent so much time doing them. There's someone sent in this mock-up of... We were talking about the those Russian sort of iconoclastic artefacts, and someone's mocked up Carl Pilkington as Saint Carl the Bewildered. It's brilliant. It's so good. I think let's put that up on rickygervais.com, and that's from Joe Murray in Philadelphia. We've also got one which is a little work of art from Ed Ferrari, and it's the three of us in a studio, and it's just great.
It's a very flattering picture of you there, Rick. You look about 14.
I know, I've come out very well in this. Carl he's got a head like a fucking orange. Look at that. And you, well, I don't know what you are. Your head is about 2 foot long, and in real life, it's only 18 inches long, isn't it? So he's exaggerated yours a little bit, but it's a lovely drawing. We'll put that up on the web as well. Just everyone go to rickygervais.com. Everyone register, please, and we'll email you. And everyone keep sending stuff in. So thank you very much.
Carl, Joe from Bradford asks, what body parts can you live without? He wants to know. He's obviously having sleepless nights thinking about this.
What, so...
With a brain.
He's coped this far.
So the bits that I've got now, if I had to get rid of one of them, what wouldn't I miss?
Yes.
See, I did a bit of an experiment on this, right?
Brilliant.
It's my job at home to wash up, right? Suzanne does.
She gives you all the really big responsible ones.
Yeah.
She sort of like pays the bills and wires the house, and you go, what can I do? And you can go, well, you can go and play with the worms in the garden.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's my job to wash up and that, right? And I thought to sort of make it interesting and stuff. I thought, I wonder if I can do it, right? If I didn't have any thumbs.
And so what did you do?
So I just sort of
sliced off your thumbs.
I just sort of held them in. And it's amazing how, like, it took me ages. Just having that one thing gone.
Well, it's part of our evolution, the opposable thumb. Basically, that's when we soared. These are milestones in human evolution. The opposable thumb, the forward-facing eyes, the upright. These are massive things in taking us out of the animal kingdom.
And one day, Carl, you'll walk upright.
But what do you mean about eyes facing forward? You mean before we got here, there was people whose eyes were looking in their head? I don't understand. Is that what you mean?
No, because when we got sort of binocular vision, where we could because we were predators have a forward face. I'm going way back. I'm not just saying. I'm not saying chimps had eyes on the side of their head, but I'm saying big major milestones in any evolution. I lost you at evolution.
Yeah. So when you were doing this experiment, washing up, you say that you found it difficult. It took you ages. So you didn't just give up once you realised how essential thumbs were.
No,
you actually washed up everything.
I just think of Suzanne walking in and Carl's there, just covered in water and fairy liquid suds, standing on a pile of broken crockery.
Yeah, plunging his face into the sink every 30 seconds and just swishing his head around.
But we talked about the washing up thing before, I don't know, and the washing up, and I sort of look out of a window, so the sink's in front of the window.
Yeah,
and that's why I quite like washing up, because I can just look out onto the street, see people going past. There's like a local homeless fella called Franco. You know, I look out that he's all right and everything.
Sure.
But I was looking across the way, right, and there's some some Chinese people who live in a flat, right, really small flat. And they're up till all hours. I don't know what they're doing. But they decide to back up at about 3:30 in the morning. And that. They're always really noisy and that.